Well, this just in. Nikola Jokic is absolutely absurd, but following one of the craziest 24-hour stretches in basketball history, he has clearly entered a new stratosphere. It is safe to say that none of the superlatives work anymore at this point. There is no level of exaggeration or hyperbole that even sounds extreme enough to depict just what exactly we are seeing. This man is simply, well, not a man. He is not human. It is unknown at this time whether he comes from some other planet or realm. Perhaps he is a cybernetic organism from the future. But the things we are seeing, even within the context of this watered-down, non-defensive era, defy general logic and reasoning. After dropping a 56-point masterclass on Saturday night against the lowly, league-worst Washington Wizards, which included 16 rebounds and 8 assists, he then, less than 24 hours later, on the second night of a road back-to-back, went and poured in 48 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists at Atlanta. The career-high 56 on Saturday, not even enough to beat the Wizards, who came into the game 2-18, riding a 16-game losing streak. Obviously, that was not a commentary on Nikola Jokic's career game, as much as it is about the criminal lack of supporting cast that this pitifully inept and ungrateful organization has put around this unicorn. A roster which is lousy enough when it has all of its players on the floor, was missing the often injured $50 million man Jamal Murray, and also missing in that game against Washington was Aaron Gordon, two of the team's 4 best players, and in their absence, Michael Porter Jr. scored just 11 points on 5 of 14 shooting. It was essentially a wire-to-wire loss to the worst team in the entire NBA, despite a 56-point, 16-rebound, and 8-assist performance on 58% shooting from the field for Jokic. Last night, though, the Nuggets traveled to Atlanta, who was on a 6-game winning streak of their own, which included wins against the Cavaliers twice, the Bucks, who were 9-1 in their last 10 going into that game, and the Lakers. But the Nuggets halted that 6-game winning streak in resounding fashion by a score of 141-111 behind 48 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists by Jokic, bringing his preposterous 2-game total in a 24-hour span to 104 points, 30 rebounds, and 16 assists on 58% shooting from the field. And how can a guy in his 10th season, who has won 3 of the last 4 league MVPs, be this much better this season? The recent 2-game scoring explosion moves him within 0.2 of a point of Giannis Antetokounmpo for the scoring lead, while he is currently leading the league in rebounding and is second in assists. Let it all wash over you. That is a 32-point, 13-rebound, and 10-assist season average. Oh, and keep in mind, the guy who, albeit is not an elite defender, but who is way more serviceable on that end than he is ever given credit for, has the 6th most steals in the NBA currently, while he is second in the NBA in 3-point shooting percentage, at over 50% from beyond the arc. Seriously, what can't this guy do? His bum-ass team is just barely over 500 at the moment, at 12-10, again a glaring indictment on his teammates and the organization that put these pieces together, as evidenced by Jokic's league best and career high, nearly plus 30 added per 100 possessions. An absolutely historically ridiculous on-off number, which many of you are still not understanding, thus stay tuned for an expanded discussion on that tomorrow. But for today, we need to just tip the cap. Hell, take the hat off and throw it in the damn air for what we are seeing. One final point here in closing though. In addition to the absurd standard box stats, like, arguably the greatest season ever type standard stats, he is, again, leading the league in all of the major advanced metrics, on pace to lead the NBA for a 5th consecutive season in player efficiency rating, box plus minus, value over replacement, and win shares. Not just that though, his current PER of 33.32 is on pace to shatter his own single-season record of 32.85. But he is also one of the absolute clutchest players in the league, doing it when it matters most. Jokic is currently top 5 in clutch time scoring and plus minus, while shooting 55% in the clutch, defined by the last 5 minutes of a game or overtime with the score within 5 points. Again, what can't this guy do? We can't just give him the MVP now, of course in case of some injury that stops him from meeting the 65-game threshold to be eligible for awards, but anything short of that, and we should be well on our way to a Nikola Jokic 4th MVP in 5 seasons, and this one by a declarative unanimous vote.